Jack can't sleep and get his father to read him a story like his mother would. It starts with magic seeds and a quest for monks to find God. The monk discovers Guantua while climbing the magical stalks. Their quest to find their gods turn into a getaway for giants to descend and wreak havoc. Meanwhile, Isabel's mother reads her the same tale. Isabel thinks it's just a gruesome story about giants eating humans. Since it's not real, she's not scared and lets her mother continue reading. King Eric once made a crown from a giant's heart, using it to control the giant and sends them away. He then sealed a pathway to their world and took the crown and seeds to his grave, keeping the peace. Jack dreams of being a guardian when the giants return, but only royals can become guardians, and he's not one. Isabel, a princess and King Eric's descendant, is royal, though her mother often reminds her she will be a good queen one day. Jack can't stop thinking about the giants. After his father leaves, he reads more of the book, discovering that the giants are furious and seeking revenge. They have been preparing for war since their defeat and plan to feast on King Eric's descendants. 10 years later, Jack is 18. His uncle sends him to town to sell their horse and cart for money. In town, Jack notices a packed theater booth where a popular tale about the giants is being performed. At the booth, some shady men start harassing Isabella, who is in disguise. Jack intervenes, and it's only when the royal guards arrive that everyone realizes she's a princess. Despite his uncle's warning not to get distracted, Jack has done just that and discovers the cart has been stolen. At least, he still has the horse. Roderick, the High Constable of Cloister, is told by Wick that the king needs him. Roderick, who's engaged to the princess, doesn't care much for Isabel. His ambitions are way bigger. He spots a monk looking suspicious in the corridors and rushes to a storage room where he finds things in disarray. A missing item from a hollowed-out book catches his eye, but the crown hidden in a potted plant is still safe. Roderick quickly orders the gates to be closed before the monk can escape. The monk, Brother Abel, desperately hides and tries to buy Jack's horse. Lacking money, he gives Jack a sack of beans as collateral, promising payment at the abbey. He warns Jack not to lose or wet the seeds. When Jack returns home, his uncle is furious, knocking the beans off the table and calling Jack delusional. Jack tries to collect them, but one bean slips through a crack unnoticed. Meanwhile, the princess pleads with King Bramwell for freedom to lead her people and avoid marrying Roderick or being guarded by Elmwood and his subordinates. The king, still traumatized by his wife's passing, insists everything he's doing is for her own good. Isabel sneaks out of the palace. Roderick gets rid of Brother Abel after an unsuccessful interrogation. It's raining heavily as Isabel wanders lost in the fields. Jack, feeling guilty about not finding his uncle, steps out and unexpectedly runs into Isabel. Jack recognizes her, but Isabel doesn't know that at first. He introduces himself and they talk about adventures and books. They are oblivious of the water from the leaking roof, sleeping through the floorboards and finding the missing seed. Jack brings up his adventure from earlier at the market and then knees in respect of royalty. Seeing she's been discovered, she takes off her disguise and thanks him for his bravery earlier. He gives her a book on the giants of Gontua as a gift. The ground shakes and chaos erupts as stalks burst out, wrapping around the house and trapping Isabel inside. Jack, terrified of heights, hooks himself to the stalks. Isabel tries to help him find footing, but when Jack grabs her wrist, her bracelet slips off. Jack falls as the stalks leave the house, taking Isabel with them. Jack wakes up surrounded by kings, guardians, and others. It's not a dream. Isabel is in real danger. King Bramwell orders Elmwood to find his daughter and allows Roderick and Jack to join despite Elmwood's objections. Elmwood sees Jack struggling to climb and learns he's scared of falling. Elmwood reminds Jack that the law forbids a princess from marrying a commoner but encourages him to keep going. Jack ziplines between stalks pushed by Crow and falls but doesn't crash. The men are secured with safety ropes, but a rainstorm makes the stalks slippery. Some men slip and end up dangling off the stalks. Roderick tells Wick to lighten the load, then reports to Elmwood that the rope snapped and men fell. Jack is the first to wake and finds a floating island with stone face carvings and his old house still tangled in beanstalks at the cliff's edge. Only a few men are left: Jack, Crow, Elmwood, Wick, Roderick, and Belt. They enter a cave searching for Isabel and find footprints showing she climbed up. Crow thinks it's to survive, but Jack believes she's after an adventure. As they go deeper into the cave, they find footings on the island's surface. Roderick and Wick corner Jack, bullying him for the rest of his seeds. They threaten him to stay quiet and then leave to join the others. Jack still has a bean hidden in a locket around his neck. Isabel left markings on the tree barks to find her way back. The group follows her prints and finds one marking unfinished. This clues them in that Isabel is a hostage. Elmot splits the team into, reminding them the mission is to save the princess and that danger could be near. Elmot, Craw, and Jack come across a flock of sheep. Craw and Jack chase one and fall into a trap, but Elmot quickly helps them out. As animals start taking cover, the team hides too. A giant finds Craw hiding behind a tree. Despite Elmot's sword attempt, both end up as the giant's hostages. Jack follows the giant secretly while Team Roderick faces a dead end. Roderick pushes Belt off a cliff and Wick is eaten by a giant after being interrupted mid-joke. Roderick controls the remaining giant with the legendary crown. Jack loses the giant's trail and Isabel is questioned by Fallon, a two-headed general who displays her in a cage, revealing she's a descendant of Eric the Terrible. Another giant arrives with Craw and Elmot, leading to Craw's demise for his smart remarks. Jack navigates through the giant's realm following trails to the hostages. The giants, unaware of the beanstalk that led the humans to them, threaten the hostages for their secret. The giant who found Isabel claims his right to eat her and accuses the general of misuse of power. Roderick arrives wearing the crown, forcing the giants to kneel. He announces his plan to return to the ground with the giants as his army to conquer kingdoms, declaring the night a celebration. They'll start their mission the next day. Jack finds Isabel and Craw, who are about to be used as feast ingredients. As the giant cook prepares them, Jack sneaks into the kitchen. He struggles to free Isabel from her cage, but manages to pass a knife to Elmot, who uses it to escape his prison dough. Just as the cook is about to cut Isabel, Jack swings down with the knife, stabbing the cook in the back. The giant fights back, but Jack clicks on and the giant slams its back into a wall, driving the knife deeper. Elmot congratulates Jack on his first giant kill. Below, the king and his general discuss whether to cut down the stalks, fearing what might come down from them. In the forest, Jack comforts Isabel, speaking like her mother and telling her not to blame herself for what happened. Jack knows and leads the group to the exit. They find a giant on guard, but he's asleep. Jack devises a plan with Elmot's help, trapping a honeycomb in the giant's helmet. As the giant wakes up swatting bees, he falls off the cliff. Elmot decides to stay behind to retrieve the crown from Roderick, while Jack is assigned to return Isabel. Elmot gives Jack a badge of honor and names him a guardian. The giant crashes and King Bramwell starts cutting down the stalk. General Enton, seeing the king's determination to sacrifice his daughter for the kingdom, joins in. As Jack and Isabel descends the stalk, Isabel interrupts Jack mid-sentence with a kiss. They see lights from down below and Isabel thinks the people are on watch for their return, but in reality, men are hard at work cutting the stalks down. The giants under Roderick's command reach the exit. Roderick, with a sack of seeds, moves towards the edge. Elmot surprises him with a knife and they tumble into the cave to fight. Roderick has the advantage with his larger sword, knocking Elmot's blade out of reach. The giant starts chiseling a new hole into the cave to free their king. Roderick is on top of Elmot, struggling to drive his sword into the guardian's heart. By the time the giant creates the hole, Roderick is dead and Fallon seizes the opportunity, declaring himself king as he dons the crown like a ring. The king's men successfully cut some vines and the stalk starts to unwind. Jack and Isabel hang on tight, same with Elmot. The giants are too late and Fallon screams out in distress, watching the stalks fall. The king learns soon that Isabel is alive. She updates him on both Jack and Elmot's bravery and Roderick's betrayal. Bramwell thanks Jack personally and Jack reminds Isabel that it's goodbye now that their adventure is over. Small Fallon spots the beans that got discarded when Elmot attacked Roderick. The two-headed general activates the seeds and warns Fum to remember that the princess is all his. Jack realizes the giants are coming and runs to warn Isabel. It's too late. The giants attack in force. The humans rush toward the castle. Elmot orders arrows and oil to be readied. Jack lags, but makes it just in time to join the drawbridge before it's fully raised. The water below is set ablaze and guards fire arrows, causing a dangling Fallon to fall into the flames. The giants intensify their assault with a bell and hooks, trying to pull the drawbridge open. The king asks Isabel to light the beacon at the top of Cloister Tower to warn other kingdoms. While Jack and Isabel take a shortcut to reach their goal, the giants play dirty, setting trees on fire and hurling them over the walls, reducing having the manpower needed to keep the gates closed. Fallon breaks into the castle through an underground swim, chasing Isabel. Jack and Isabel hide, then flee when Fallon finds them. He captures Isabel first, then Jack when he tries to swing down with an axe. As Fallon is about to eat Jack, Jack throws the last bean seed, ending Fallon the general. In a desperate situation, the humans use the portcullis to delay the giants while taking defensive positions after losing the drawbridge. As the giants are about to overwhelm them, the last beanstalks erupt from within the palace. Facing their new king, Jack, the giants reluctantly fall to their knees. Jack sends the giants back to their home, and King Brumble changes the law to allow Jack and Isabel to marry. They later have 2 children who love adventure tales. One child notices Jack always omits the part about the crown's hideout. Jack doesn't reveal it but assures them it's safe. In reality, the crown is disguised as a typical monarch's crown and now sits in a museum for all to see. And that's it. If you like this video, don't forget to hit the like button, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel to watch the latest and exclusive movie recaps. If you have any requests, thoughts, or recommendation for movie recaps, just drop them below in the comment section, and we will see you at the next video. Peace out!